welcome to another episode of Help with Natalie Cuomo. I'm here with my good friend and comedian, Samantha Santos.
That's me.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good. Just saw my friend I hadn't seen in a while.
Oh, I love that.
It was really nice.
Super nice.
And now I'm here, finally off the road for a little bit.
Yeah, you were always on the road.
Oh my God.
Goals.
We were driving so much. It's so awesome, but I definitely need to fly places instead of driving.
I hate flying.
Really?
I have like I'll do it,
Yeah.
right? Because I have to like see the world, but it's like at least 3-4 days of like anxiety.
Really?
And then when I'm on the plane, I'm like, well, this is how I die.
Are you just thinking about like, okay, what is your plane anxiety?
I don't want to die.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, and I'm just like, if when my feet are on the ground, I feel a lot more, at ease. And I'm just like, I'm in somebody, I don't know what he's done that night.
I
or
know.
her.
You're just like, for me, the anxiety comes when it's fine. Yep. Okay. The anxiety comes all the time. But no, really, when I'm buying the flight, because I'm like, do I book the 9 a.m. or the 11 a.m.?
That
Is
part
that
too.
what changes my life? Is that what changes my life?
I have the whole thing too. Like even when I'm like typing in my name, I'm like, if I put this in wrong, they're not gonna let me on the plane. So like it's like looking over everything to make sure everything is correct.
It's terrible.
I mean, I have anxiety about everything, but yeah,
Me
but the
too.
same thing. I'll look at I'll like about to book a flight, and then if I'm like, no, maybe I'll book the other one. I'm like, well, what if that one goes down?
I know, but no planes. We're all good. I think I only got over my fear of flying from just like having to do it. And
Yeah.
you're like, all right,
It is getting better, I think, but that's not saying much.
I feel you.
I can't even sleep. Like I'll close my eyes on the plane just to look at the part.
Oh,
But I'm
you
not
can't
asleep.
sleep?
No, I'm literally the whole time like, if I'm gonna die, I want to know, which is crazy.
No, you want to be asleep.
I do want to be asleep, but I'm like, no, because for me, I feel like there's something I can do.
Yeah.
Jump out of a window or something. I don't know. In my head, I'm like a superhero.
I feel the first time I like really traveled by myself, I was like an au pair. I was going to Paris. It was it was so fun.
That's
it was
like a
just,
movie.
I know. It was just a week, and I had like a total panic attack. And I'm the type of person that if I'm having a panic attack, like I don't care. I'll turn to a stranger and be like,
Me too.
I'm feeling anxious. Can you make me feel better?
I'm the same way. I don't like to talk to strangers until I'm anxious. And I'm like,
Yeah.
help me, please.
Get me out of my head. But everyone was only spoke French, and it was just like the worst. It was like the worst panic attack ever. I like went to the bathroom, gave myself a pep talk. After that, I was pretty good on planes.
Oh, well, that'll do it. You
Yeah.
have to, if you're by yourself especially, but I've only flown by myself like twice, and they were like very fast flights.
Yeah.
But I'm still freaking out.
You grew up in New York City, right?
I did, yes.
We both grew up in New York.
I know, it's so rare.
I know.
Crazy.
Have you lived anywhere else?
No,
Just here.
just here, yeah.
Do you still live in the same neighborhood you grew up in?
No, I live further down. I live close to I live in Chinatown.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you went to Catholic school
I did.
in New York City. Do you feel, so I feel like there was a whole like public school scene,
Yeah.
but I know nothing about the Catholic school scene, the private school scene.
I mean, I don't know any different, but it's cool. Like high school was like, I went to an all girls school, so we would always like, we had like brother schools, so like their dances and stuff, and that's who we like mingled with. Like my high school boyfriend went to an all boy Catholic school, and like the dances and stuff, and like it's funny because like the dances were I guess the same as public school. We were playing the same music, and it was like, except you had like nuns or like priests being like, "Excuse me, leave space for the Holy Spirit," because we were like throwing our ass at people, which is crazy. We were like like my school, like where we had our dances was called the lower church, which is like the church of like the basement of the church,
Okay.
and we were just like throwing ass.
Were there grind trains?
Absolutely.
See, I remember grind trains in middle school. I never was a grinder. I couldn't do it. I'm too awkward.
Oh, I'm awkward until like a reggae song comes on, and then I'm like, oh, okay. This is what I meant to do. Yeah, it's insane. It was like Sean Paul was like huge then, and
definitely.
it was like, yeah, I was throwing it back.
Yeah. Do you feel, so did you have to wear a uniform to school?
Yeah.
I used to like wish that I had to wear a
I
uniform.
loved it.
Yeah, the stress of picking your outfit
That was it. Yeah.
is too much.
I know. That was because even like in Catholic school it was like, did you have like the cool like shoes? You know what I'm saying? Like there was still something, but it was so much less than like public school. You had to like look good every day. I could not be bothered.
No, picking your outfit was like the bane of my existence. I just did not understand how to put an outfit together. I still don't.
No, you're so cute.
Thank you. But I always wish that I like had a cute little plaid dress.
Yeah. Oh my God. And I loved it too because I just felt like I was, killing it.
Yeah.
I felt like Britney Spears, I was like, I'm killing this outfit.
Were you cool in high school?
Well, it was an all-girls school, so there was no, like, cliques or anything. Like,
Right.
and it was also so small. I graduated 96 girls, and all of us were, like, cool with each other. There was no, like, losers. Everybody was just like, don't be mean.
Oh.
Yeah, it was,
That's
like,
so nice.
really great high school experience. Like, nobody was made fun of. There were no fights. It was, like, fun.
Wow. Would you raise a kid in New York?
I think I would, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know any different, so I'm like, yeah, why not? I mean, I always had something to do. I wasn't, like, ever bored. And, like, all my friends or, like, my family that was raised in the suburbs were, like, always getting into shit.
Really?
Because there's nothing to do and they're so bored.
So I feel the opposite. I feel like there was like so many drugs in New York.
Oh, I was never around drugs. I didn't even start
Really?
smoking weed until I was, like, in my mid-20s.
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
How? Like I feel like I was like infiltrated with drugs at a young age.
I feel
because
like
of
I
New
was
York.
terrified of my parents. So, like, it was definitely around. But, like, my parents, like, I'm still, like, if my mom calls me right now, I'm still scared. You know, like, my mom is, like, a crazy Italian woman, and she was, like, always, like, she's like, you want to do drugs? Go for it. But I don't know where you're going to live because it's not going to be here. Yeah, and, like, I would come home and, like, if, like, I wore contacts in high school, and I didn't take care of them, so my eyes were always red. And she would always be like, come here, let me see your eyes. Were you smoking that stuff? And I'm like, no. And she would be like, let me see you walk. And, like, she would make me wait. She was nuts.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I drank for the
Wow.
first time my senior year of high school, and I got caught. Of course, because I'm awful at, like, lying. But, like, my mom was like, I came home and I was like, hey, I'm gonna go to bed. Like, as soon as I got home.
Yes.
She was like, come here, let me smell your breath.
Wow.
Yeah.
Strict.
Very strict.
So my dad is Italian, and I always thought it was just because he was an Italian man that he was strict. But do you think all Italians are pretty?
I think they're all crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if your dad is,
Yeah.
but, like, my mom, yeah, I think, yeah. My mom was super strict. I don't know if all Italian, because I know some Italian parents that weren't strict, but they were crazy.
Yeah.
So, like, they would be like, yeah, you can do whatever you want, but if you cross them the wrong way, then they'll be like, my mom, I'm her daughter and she loves me, but if I, like, cross her, I could be a stranger in the street to her. Like, she will, like, beat my ass. Like, she's never met me before.
Did you take that on? Do you feel that way?
No. I feel like I'm super calm, and I think it might skip a generation.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure my kids will be nuts. But I feel like my brothers are crazy. My brother's nuts. So maybe it went to him and it didn't to me.
Why do you think that? I feel like partially because of the way I was raised, that when I feel disrespected, for whatever reason, like if I feel like I'm being disrespected or taken advantage of, something goes off in me where, like, I get insane anger.
Oh, I guess I'm not as my mom, because my mom, you're right. My mom, like, the littlest thing she'll feel disrespected about. For me, like, if someone is trying to cross me or play me or something like that, absolutely not. Like, I feel like that's the Italian and the New York in me.
What's the smallest thing that you got upset about recently?
The smallest thing, let me think. Oh, it was like somebody at a show really, really this guy, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. But I was hosting, so I'm talking to the crowd.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I'm dating her. And he was like, she was a 10, and he was like a 4. And I was like, oh, are you guys, like, official? And he was like, yeah. Why do you keep asking me questions? We're waiting for the comics to come on. And I was like, I wanted to fight. Like, I couldn't even say anything back because I was like, I want to fight you. And then I was like, hey, how long have you been dating this guy? I was like, break up with him. He sucks. And then after the show, I was, like, shaking because I was like, I wanted to go up to him and like, I really wanted to kill him. Because I just felt like, it just pissed me off. And then I like talked about it the whole way home. And it was like in my dreams.
It really does. For some reason, when you feel violated on stage like that, it really gets to you in, like, a deep way.
Such a deep way. And then I hated that I didn't, like, handle it correctly on stage. Like, I felt like I could have definitely clowned him. He had, like, a mullet, and he was like a loser.
Yeah.
And I was like, you are trying too hard right now. You're trying to be a cool guy, and you suck. But I didn't say anything. I just was so mad.
That's what it really is interesting because I usually don't walk off stage being like, I handled that situation with the heckler well.
No, never. I never do.
Like, recently we were doing a show out of town, and someone sat in the front row wearing a t-shirt, like, with my ex on it. I know.
What an asshole.
I know. And he was vaping the whole show, like, intentionally, like, vaping. And in retrospect, I should not have acknowledged it at all.
Yeah.
Because I just walked on stage and I saw it, and I was kind of just, like, flooded with like the reason you do that is to piss someone off.
Exactly.
I mean,
he's a troll.
He bought a ticket, did a 2-drink minimum just to troll me in real life, but it's still, and I should have just ignored it.
Yeah,
the way you would
but
ignore.
it's impossible.
But that's the first time that's happened to me, so like I didn't know. I acknowledged it, and I totally made fun of him the whole set.
Yeah.
And every time I made fun of him, he was like, I'm like, what did you expect?
Yeah.
And he laughed at my jokes and shit. He laughed at Dan's jokes.
He probably just wanted to be noticed.
Yeah. And he waited the whole time we were selling merch to like talk to us, but we like left without
Yeah, absolutely not.
seeing him. But it was kind of one of those things where you're like, wow.
Yeah. I also find that with trolls, like on the internet, they'll like go back and forth with me, and then they'll get in my messages and be like, hey, I just want to take you on a date. And I'm like, oh, you thought? So I think like sometimes trolls just do things to get recognized and get you to talk to them, and then they're like, hey, I actually love you.
Yeah.
So like he actually bought tickets to your show.
I've had it 2 other times where someone has like worn my ex's shirt to a show to be like, look how funny I am. And it's like, first of all, we broke up a long time ago, but it's never happened where they're like sitting front and center and you walk on stage and you're like, oh, okay. It was definitely a lesson in not acknowledging people.
Yeah, I guess I would have to, because I definitely would say something too.
Right?
That's crazy to do. I don't want anyone, because one thing about me, once I break up with somebody, I don't know who that person is anymore.
Me too.
So don't ever bring him up to me, because I've never met him before. And so like, yeah, if you're wearing, there's no way. I literally did a podcast with like Derek the other day, and he mentioned my ex, and I literally was like, take that part out.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want people to know I dated that guy.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, ew.
Ugh, it is embarrassing. I totally am the same way. Like if someone and I have a falling out, I will never speak to them again, and it won't be hard
At all.
It won't be difficult. I'll enjoy how long it's been.
Yeah, it does bring me a little bit of joy.
Yeah.
So like one of my exes like lives in my neighborhood, and I see him. And you would never know, because I pass him like it's never, we didn't live together. Like I literally pass him right up with the dog that he thought was his.
The dog's like, I don't know you either.
Literally, she is my ride or die. She doesn't even look at him. She's like,
my ex, like he rode motorcycles.
Yeah.
And I don't know why my dog, whenever he sees a motorcycle, he pisses on it.
good.
No matter what.
I love
like
that.
he just like he pisses on every motorcycle he sees.
I love that. I love dogs that are ride or die.
Yeah, I'm like, that's right. You piss on that.
I love that. Yeah.
But you're in a relationship now with another comedian.
Yes, both of us.
I think you and your boyfriend JC are so cute together.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's like the first time I feel like we're cute. You know, like usually I'm always like, this guy's like, I'm with dated people and I'm always like, he's a clown. But like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, maybe you don't know what I mean because I'm insane. But like, I've dated people that I'm like, you're fine for now, you know? But like, he's the first guy that I'm like, you're like my equal. Like, I feel like you're my partner.
Yeah.
And I feel like we are cute.
I think so. You guys have like very good energy.
Thank you.
Just like nice, loving relationship.
Yeah.
So you started a podcast together.
We did, yes. Soft launch.
So what is the podcast about?
We're just talking like crap, really. And then we both like, I got him into watching reality TV. So like the ending of so like we talk like about like one thing about what's happened to us during the week and like just, and that ends up being like a long conversation. And then we like recap our Bravo shows that we watch together.
Oh, that's fun.
It's really fun because it's a straight man's perspective on reality shows is very different than mine.
What's the biggest difference?
Like I have like, well, I've also been watching for a while, so feel like I have relationships with these people, even though I don't know them. But like he has like no tolerance for the men on the show that are like they're awful.
Yeah.
And I give them passes, which is my life. And he's always like, this guy is an asshole. What are you talking about? And I'm like, no, I love him. And he does not get it at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's got the rational.
Yeah, he's very rational. Where I'm like, no. I'm like, we grew up together. You don't get it. He's like, you don't know this guy. I'm like, but I've been watching since I'm in my 20s.
What do you think what do you think the best advice you ever received is?
So I was thinking about this. I think the best advice I ever got was from my mom, even though she's crazy. It was maybe a couple years ago where I was like in a really like dark place. I was really like not feeling good about myself, and I've always been like a happy person. Mm-hmm. And then I couldn't find happiness anywhere. And I was doing all the things that she taught me to do, like get a job with good benefits and like making good money and you're set. And I was doing all those things. And then I was like in her apartment and she knew I wasn't feeling good. And she's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I don't know. I have all the things that you said I was supposed to have to be like a happy adult and I'm miserable. And then she was like, my mom's like going through a change in her life too. Like her and my dad are divorcing. So like, I feel like her and I are like at the same kind of place where we're trying to figure ourselves out. And she was just like, I gave you all the tools that I thought I had and like in my tool bag. And she's like, and you did all the things to make me and dad happy. And she's like, now you're an adult. Time to go find your happiness and what makes you happy. That way, when you have children, you can like pass on better things than I passed on to you. And it was really like the first time in my life where I was like, I felt like I could breathe because I spent my whole life trying to make my parents like proud and happy because it mattered to me. And it was like a point where she was just like, it's your time. Do what makes you happy.
That's so nice.
Yeah, it was really, really, really good.
I love that.
Yeah.
So she supports comedy and
yeah, like, and I always say them like I have 2 brothers, and I think my parents are most happy for me, and I'm like, I'm broke. And they're like so happy to see me like live my truth. My mom would always like, she wanted me to have a job with benefits, but she'd always be like, you have something, you should be on stage.
Aww.
And I would always be like, I don't know, like as I would always talk myself out of it because I know it makes no sense, but I don't like attention. I'm a very like, I feel like I'm awkward. So like I would always be like, I don't want to be on stage. Like I don't like people looking at me. And she'd be like, no, you're gonna have to get over that. But I never would like listen to her because I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about.
What made you take the jump into stand up?
I just was in that space where I was like, I'm like, what? This can't be my life. And, it just was like such a crazy period of my life where I was just so unhappy. And like little things that used to bring me happiness, like going to brunch with my friends was like not fun for me anymore. I was like, this can't be the things that I look forward to. And I was just like, all right, I can either let my anxiety control my life and my fear of being on stage control my life, or I'm going to just take it into my own hands and do what I need to do. And that was all it was just like really being at the lowest point of my life was what made me jump into stand-up.
I do feel like the lowest points of my life have motivated me into the highest points of my life, for sure.
Absolutely. I think like without those, without like low points, I couldn't be where I am now.
Yeah. Absolutely. Did you feel like you went on stage one time and you're like, this is it, I'm over the nerves? Or
No.
Or how did that work for you?
Like even JC will say, because he was like with me and like where I would have like full-blown panic attacks.
Really?
Like getting on stage. Yeah, because I don't know if it's like I really care what people think, right? Or like I don't as much anymore. I think I care about like people that I know. I think I care about what they think. But like strangers, I used to really give a shit.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I don't care at all. I'll never see you again, And if you didn't like me, okay, then I'm not your taste.
Right.
But like in the beginning, it took me a really long time. And I thought like, okay, if I did it once, I would get over it. And then when it didn't happen easy for me, I was ready to give up. I was like, okay, well, this isn't for me. And then it was like therapy and stuff, like me being like, well, I'm like, I don't think I'm ever going to get over this. And my therapist was like, you will. You just have to keep doing it. And I would be like, I would always say like, I want to jump to the part of my life where this is easy. And my therapist was like, the only way to do that is to get through the hard part. And I was like, I don't want to hear that, like,
Yes.
I'm like, you don't have any tools for me, and and then there was, I don't remember the day, but there was just like a day where when I got off stage, I was like, wait a minute. I had no nerves about that. And it was like a great set. And like, cause I used to be on stage and you would see me shaking. Like it was really, I couldn't look at anybody. I still almost can't.
It sucks how visceral it can be. Anxiety. Yeah. Like I definitely, when there are consequences that I care about to a set, that's when I'll find like anxiety like creeping its way back in.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm way more, if there's people at the audience that I know mean something, then I'm like, oh, fuck.
But at the end of the day, like no set matters. Yeah. I think that's the...
Yeah. I've learned that now.
Yeah,
because I'm also like, we do so many sets, and I'm like, what's one bad set? I'll just go do. I have another show tonight. I'll just fix it. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, it's been a problem. Like if someone thinks you suck, that means I suck. Where it's like, no, I know what I am and I know what I have, and developing that confidence is very difficult.
It's so difficult, and then I also watch like men get it so easy. They have this confidence that I've never. Like I'll see somebody like an open micer be like, I literally met an open micer at like, he just like came to the stand and he was like, I wrote a letter to like the booker at the Cellar and was like, hey, you should book me. It's like, what? You've never even performed at a club. But he believes it. And I'm like, well, good for you, I guess. But like, couldn't be me.
That's that's a little too ignorant.
It is.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I wish I had that blind confidence.
Right.
Because like anything, like even when I got past at the stand, it was a moment like I was so excited. And then I went like almost a spiral where JC had to be like, you need to relax. I was like, I don't deserve it. you know? And I'm like, oh, there's so many people that are better than me. And like, why do I get this and other people don't? And like, and he's like, enough. Like, you can't do that. But it's something I was like, there are people that are way better than me. Why are they not here? But it's like, that's not for me to make that decision, you know? And like, there's enough space at the table. I'm not taking anybody's space, you know?
Yeah, and you should want to take up space.
I know, but it's such a strange thing where like I feel like it's something I have to get used to because my whole life I think I've tried to make myself small, and now I'm like I have to be like make myself known and not be weird about it, but it is very difficult for me.
Yeah. Well, you fucking are hilarious and deserve to get to stand 100%.
I appreciate that. Thank you. It took me a while. I believe it now.
Yeah.
Some days, most days.
I mean, imposter syndrome is so real in the arts.
Oh my God.
There's like, I think, especially with comedians, it's so like prevalent.
It's so bad. There was a point in my life where I couldn't even walk into the stand to like eat. Like I didn't believe that I belonged there at all. Where I would be like, no, I don't want to walk into this place. Like this is like so out of reach for me. And like, I don't even want to look like I'm trying too hard.
Right.
So like, I wouldn't even go in. My imposter syndrome is so real.
What are some tools that have helped you get past it?
I literally have to I try to like clock like negative talk. So I do more positive talk and like, I must look crazy in the street, but I'll like literally walk in the street. Like if I'm going somewhere where I am a little nervous or I feel like I don't belong or whatever, I'll like walk in the street and be like, you're fine. Like you were invited to this place for a reason. And like, I literally will be like affirmations in the street, but like, I don't care. I have to it's like the only way. And it's kind of like that for everything. Like I just started a new job and I had like all this negative talking before I was like, I got this. Like, it's in the bag. What am I doing? And then I feel better. Like, I'll just keep saying that. I have to just, like, clock my negative talk and be like, nope, that's not real. That's just my anxiety.
Right. It becomes so habitual.
Oh, my God. It's exhausting.
I know.
Oh, my God. Like, I remember my therapist being like, do you have trouble sleeping because of your anxiety? I'm like, no, actually, I fall asleep as soon as my head hits the pillow because my brain is on 1,000 all day long. I just need a minute of, like, just relaxation. It's so... Oh my God, I don't wish it on anybody. When someone's like, I don't have anxiety, I'm like, I hate you.
I think it sucks because it's like you will always find something to worry about.
Oh, I can always find something. Like even on a peaceful day, like I have no shows tonight and I'm going to go watch TV, I'm sure. I'll find something to be anxious about
100%.
At some point tonight.
Yeah, I don't know what it comes from. I always used to feel like I'd rather be depressed than anxious just because... I mean, I've experienced both, but with anxiety, it's just like such a persistent level of intrusive thoughts that it's exhausting.
It's the minute I open my eyes. I have to like tell myself not to think these things.
Yeah.
But I do. I after being in such a dark place, I think I would take anxiety over depression. But I used to be like, at least like depression, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But it's like, oh, miss me with that. No way.
Yeah.
It was really bad for me. So I cannot.
What pulled you out of it?
I think I just honestly, I think like diving into comedy more and like accepting what my life was. I think a lot of my anxiety was around like me being in my 30s and not anywhere I wanted to be. I'm like, I don't have a husband or kids. Like everyone has that. And also watching, my friends, I feel like in your 20s, your friends are such a major part of your life, right? Mm-hmm. And then all of my friends got married and had kids and moved and rightfully so. And I was happy for them, but I was also like, I'm so lonely. Like I don't have the like people around me that I used to, and I felt like really alone, and I felt like nobody like understood what I was going through. And then it was also like my friends are so comfortable and happy in like their corporate jobs, and I was like, why am I not happy with this? And it just made me feel so alone. And then I was like, I don't want to have to make new friends. And then like I finally, when I did, and I poured myself into comedy, and I was like, oh, I'm meeting people, and it's fine. And like I was stopping myself from getting out of the depression because I was like, I'm just going to sit home and complain about everything. And then I was like, no, I can't do this forever. Then when I started making friends and stuff, I was like, oh, this is great. Like, I feel fine. Like, it wasn't like a switch, but I started like, just being like, am I going to sit at home on this couch all day and watch like mindless TV, or not even the TV would be on and I would just be thinking about how awful I felt. I was like, or I can like slowly start going out. So I slowly started like, dipping my toe into things. And then, eventually you wake up and you're like, oh wait, I haven't been sad in a little bit. And that felt like amazing. Also therapy helped, but
yeah,
really like therapy is great because they give you the tools, but then it was like applying those tools was where I was like, okay, I have to actually do the work. I can't just talk about it once a week.
What's the most valuable tool you feel like you got from therapy?
That like I'm in control of what is happening in my life, right? So like things happen, right? Like deaths and things like that are sad, but like I can choose to stay in this feeling, or I can try to like find joy. And I was getting really comfortable with not finding joy. And like my whole life prior to me being in the depression, everybody would be like, Samantha always has a smile on her face. And like I was finding joy in like everything I was doing. And then when I didn't anymore, I was like, who am I? What am I? What is going on? So I just like making conscious decisions to do things and be like, no, I'm not going to allow myself. Like I allow myself some time to like grieve things and whatever's going on in my life. Like if I'm feeling sad, I allow myself to feel, but not for an extended amount of time. Like I'm like, okay, girl, put your big girl panties on and hit the road, you know?
Yeah.
And then I always end up feeling so much better when I'm like around people and not being home and in my thoughts. I feel better.
I feel like sometimes if you just like leave the room.
Oh my God, yeah.
It helps.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's stressful as fuck. Do you talk about it on stage?
I haven't gotten there yet because I don't know. I feel like I don't want to make the crowd feel bad for me.
Yeah.
So like I have jokes written, but I'm always so scared to tell them. Like I've wrote it and I want to, but I'm always like, I don't know. I don't want anybody to be like, I'm here to escape my depression. I don't want to hear about somebody talking about the depression. But that's also me overthinking, you know.
It's interesting. I feel sometimes I'll get in my head because I have jokes about like anxiety and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're funny to me, but I've definitely be like, I heard someone in the crowd be like, why is she talking about like anxiety at a comedy show? But then it's not for everyone. And maybe it's just not for that person, but it's for the people that have anxiety or for the people that do like it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's something that so many more people experience than you think.
It's so true. And I remember like before I was in comedy, I was like, you know, knowing I wanted to do comedy, but I was too scared to do it. So I would go to comedy shows. Mm-hmm. And when someone would talk about like anxiety, I would feel seen. And I'm like, oh, yes. Like I'm not a crazy person. Because I felt like I was, and I knew other people had anxiety, but I felt like, you know, when I hear someone speak on it the way that I experience it, I'm like, oh shit.
When someone articulates it really well in a funny way, it's so comforting.
Oh my God, it's the best. It's like you just feel so good about it because like I'll tell myself I'm the only one that feels it.
Yeah.
Even though TikTok is telling me a different story, I'll like see TikToks and I'm like, no, they don't get it.
I love the religious TikTok, like the making fun of religion TikToks.
Thank you.
So when I realized you went to Catholic school, I was like, oh, I mean, you just know so much about the Bible.
Yeah, I really do. I have to find the time to like, I have so many more stories like I want to tell in that way. Because it's also like, I'm sure for people get so, I have like, you know, the like Jesus freaks in my comments a lot or in my DMs, but I'm also like, I'm not telling I'm telling the story. I'm sure. Like if you're into religion, I'm like, that is why they crucified Jesus, right? It's because no one believed him and they were all talking like shit about him. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing it as if I was doing it in 2023. It's like Veggie Tales, but modern. Like, exactly.
I loved Veggie Tales. My parents were like, turn off that Christian bullshit.
I love that you love that.
I just loved the vegetables talking. I didn't even realize it was religious. Yeah. It's so cute.
So did you not grow up religious at all?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God.
No.
I didn't really at home. My parents didn't care. It was really just about like a better education, they said.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we did not. My mom would literally tell me before school, like, listen, don't listen to what they're telling you in religion. It's not important. Yeah, because like my parents weren't married in the church. So like at school, they would be like, if your parents weren't married in the eyes of God, they're not really married. And my mom would be like, I don't care what they're talking about. They don't know shit.
Classic New Yorker.
Yeah. And she'd be like, just listen to like math and science.
So your parents are getting divorced as you're an adult?
Yes.
That's so crazy.
It's so. Are they getting divorced? My parents. Thank God they didn't get a divorce when I was a kid because I would have been so confused because they're getting a divorce, but they're like my dad's staying in their house in Florida where my brother lives. But when he comes back, they like stay together and they like hang out. They go to dinner and do all these things. It's such a weird thing, but they hate each other for sure.
But they hang out.
Yeah, because I think it's just a comfort thing because they've been together for so long. But like they really don't like each other. Like I've never. People always like, well, at least you had your parents together. I'm like, no, I've never seen them happy my entire life.
Yeah.
Just awful.
I definitely feel that living with people that don't like each other is way more stressful.
Oh my God.
Than just going to two different places.
Oh my God. Yeah. I feel like now as an adult, I'm like, can you guys just work it out? Like I've already had my whole life, like where it's like one place to go to. I don't want to have to split up holidays.
Yeah.
Like now, because now I'm an adult and like I have to split them up with JC's mom and his parents are not together. So it's like I have to go see his mom and his dad and my mom and my dad. It's like, just You guys are old at this point.
Yeah, just get together.
Just figure it out. Yeah, I'm like, this is too much. And they're like 70.
I have, my dad is also 70.
Yeah.
It gives me so much anxiety. I used to yell at them when I was a kid. I'd be like, you should have had me when you were younger so we could hang out for longer.
Oh my God. I have such, especially now, like I see my parents with like my brother's kids and I love it. And I'm like, oh, my parents will be so old when I have a kid. And it makes me so sad. I like, I literally will, that'll be something that keep me up at night where I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah, me too. I will cry about that. For
Absolutely.
Sure. I mean, even though like they're still young, I mean, 70 is still
It's young in 2023. And my parents are like a young 70. Like if you saw, they don't look their age, but they are, you know? Like I know the other day, like little things. I like knocked on my mom's door. I have the key, but I try to give her like respect, you know? And like I rang the doorbell and I hear her be like, wait, because she can't get up as quick as she used to. And then she's like, oh my God, I'm so old. Because like I waited outside. It was like 20 seconds, but like my parents are in an apartment. It's not like a long walk to the door. And I was like, ew. I was like, now you're being old. Yeah, like work out or like can you stretch?
You're like, knock it off.
Yeah, literally. I'm like, don't. Ew.
Okay. So you were engaged before you were with JC.
I was.
Was that before you did comedy?
Yeah, that was in my early 20s. I was with him like almost all of my 20s.
Really?
Yeah.
So did you break off the engagement?
Absolutely. Yeah, I did it. I found out that he was cheating on me on Craigslist.
What do you mean you found out on Craigslist?
So I like never check phones. I'm not that type of girl, right? I'm so cool. And we were in his car and he had a phone that wasn't connected to the internet, like wasn't a connected phone, right? Like to a service provider. And he would use it as an iPod in his car. So we're on the highway and he was like, hey, can you put on a song? So I like opened up the phone and I guess he would go to his apartment and like connect to Wi-Fi on that phone and go on Craigslist. So when I opened up the phone to put on music, it was open to his email. And it was like a dirty email. I don't remember exactly what it said, but yeah. And then I was like, as I'm reading, I'm like, what am I reading? Like, it didn't make sense to me. Like, I didn't see it coming, you know? So I just was like, what is this? And then the more I read it and like saw like it's from his email address to like some crazy ass Craigslist email, I was like, what is this? And then I just we were in the car and I was on the highway and I literally took my seatbelt off and like went to his side of the car. I was about to kill us both. I did not care at all. I was like, I don't.
Were you driving? He was driving.
He was driving.
Yeah,
but I was on his side.
You were like, I'm gonna kill you.
He literally took the phone out of my hand because I was like, what is this? And then I think I started reading it out loud, and he got nervous and he gripped the phone out of my hand, and it was the summer. I remember he had it out of the window, and I was like, oh, you think I won't? I'll end this for both of us. I don't care. At this point, I was like, you think I won't climb on that side? Like, you should know me by now. I will. And I was like on his side. He's like, you're gonna crash the car, and I was like, okay.
You crashed the car by cheating on me.
Yeah, literally, because that's how mad. Like I saw nothing but red.
Yeah.
And then when I ended up looking at the dates that he sent the stuff, it was like the day that my mom did like an engagement brunch for us. He was like the day before and the night of.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Crazy.
That is, and you didn't see it coming at all?
At all. Well, now that I'm like a grown woman, I'm like, of course he was. He was the worst.
Did it affect dating afterwards?
100%. So like I broke up with him in like my late 20s, and then I had a boyfriend in between him and JC. But like the guy that I dated in between was like, it was a nightmare relationship, and I obviously just ran somewhere because I did not process it at all, and I don't feel like I processed getting cheated on in that relationship until like I want to even say like 3 years ago, and that was so long ago. But like I just was like, okay, well, on to the next, like whatever, you know. Didn't want to think about it. And the crazy part is I still have to see him because he's my brother's friend.
Your brother didn't stop being friends with him?
You would think. My brother is such a pain in my ass.
Is this the half brother?
No, it's my full brother.
Wow.
So my brother is the type that, so when we started dating, my brother hated it. And he was like, this guy, he's my friend, but he's awful, like to women. Like, don't date him. You're not ready for this. And then I was like, you don't know me. And like, I love him, you know? And then it felt like, a movie where we're like, like we were trying to be together and nobody wanted us together. So we were together. And then my brother was like, I just want to let you know when he messes up, and he will, I'm not going to not be friends with him. So like, you're going to have to see him at every event that I have. And I, at the time I thought he was just saying that, but like he has really stood his ground on that.
Wow. Why does he love this guy so much?
He doesn't. I think it's literally just to prove a point. I don't know anything about like zodiac signs except for mine, but I'm like, it's giving Aries. And I don't know if it is. I don't know if it is, but it feels like it is.
That's so fun.
Yeah. And my brother's wife, who's like my ride or die, love her. She, like, if he's at their apartment, she goes into the bedroom. She's like, I don't talk to that motherfucker. She's like,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you feel like it made you jealous or possessive in relationships, or you're kind of like, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it?
No, I don't feel jealous, but I feel like I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop. So like, even like with JC, like he's a great guy and everything, but like sometimes I'll just be like, are you going to ever, like he gets a lot of like female attention, JC, because like he does like great on like Hannah Burners, like things. So like he gets like messages and like I'm fine with it, but I'm always like, do you think that you'll ever be like curious? So like I'm always waiting for something, or I'll say stuff like, when you're like over me and you don't whatever, and he's like, what are you saying? And I'm like, it's just like the way that I think, and it's something I'm trying to curb, but I think it definitely messed with my self-confidence.
Yeah.
Like I think like I was, I felt like me and my ex were so happy, and then when that happened, I was like, maybe I wasn't good enough, or, you start like questioning yourself. So it definitely messed with my self-confidence, where I felt like I was always pretty cool. And then I was like, am I as cool as I think I am? Like I got cheated on, so maybe I suck.
I feel like one thing I realize is like people that cheat, it's not about you at all. It's like they have a sex addiction or like a need for validation.
Absolutely.
But it feels so personal.
It feels so personal because I'm like, we were sharing everything. You know what I mean? Like, you asked me to be your wife. It was just also my intuition is so insane because I felt like something was off. Like leading up to me finding that. And I remember being like, I don't know what it is. And I have nothing like, there was nothing that he did that was different, but I had like this gut feeling. And I remember, like, I'm not religious at all, but I was like, God, if there's like, show me a sign that this is not right. And literally I found that thing and I was like, oh, that was the sign that I needed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you still want to get married? And
absolutely. I didn't until like JC. Then I was like, I'm fine with never, like, I was really on this, like, I'm fine with never, because I really do love my alone time, and like, I'm totally fine being by myself. But then when I met him, I was like, oh, no, I want to be with you. Yeah. I was like, and I also, I never really wanted kids. And it's like, with JC, I'm like, oh, I want his kids. Like, yeah. It's a very different feeling for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are a cute couple.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I like that. Aw.
You and Dan too.
Thank you.
I'm like a huge fan. Like I remember when you guys got engaged, I was like, oh my God, I was so excited for you guys. Because I love like, I'm with JC, I'm like, let's just get married. Like I'm like all about like, we know it, let's just do it. And I love that you guys were like, you knew, you were sure, and you're like, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that.
I feel like it's cool actually, like planning a wedding, all that stuff. It like makes it feel more real too.
Yeah. Are you guys
like,
gonna do a big wedding?
We're gonna do like, we put a down payment on a venue. I know.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. It holds 200, but we're gonna aim for like 150.
Yeah.
Just because of money.
Yeah. And weddings are so expensive.
I know, because you have to be like, would I pay? Would I take this person to dinner for this much? I don't know.
But
they're gonna be at the
answer
wedding.
is no. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So it is. I was surprised at like how much per person it winds up being, but it is cool and like
it's gonna be it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I already ordered like these temporary tattoos of our faces. So the wedding's in a year, but I'm still like,
I love that. How long have you and Dan been together now?
Like almost a year.
I love that for you guys. I'm so happy for you guys. And I feel like you make such a good couple.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been fun. And it's fun to like hang out with other couples and stuff.
Yeah, too. I love that. Yeah.
So that's fun. In comedy, that's why we're doing the show at City Winery.
Yes, I'm so hyped for that.
I was like, Dan, I have an idea. What if it's like a double date show?
I'm so excited for it. Like because I've been to City Winery before, and I'm like, I've been wanting to go there and like perform there. And when you asked, we were on vacation.
Oh yeah.
And we were like in the room, and then I was like, he was in the shower, and I was like, oh my God. I was like so excited about it. Yeah.
That'll
I'm
be
so glad
fun.
you asked. Yeah.
So does your dog approve of JC?
My dog, I think, would throw me out for JC.
Really?
Like, and he loves, like, it's so I think the way he interacted with my dog, I think I was like, oh, I think I want to have your babies. Like, cause like he will like every day he comes home, like, and he'll set aside time to like play with Monroe and like make sure she gets her runs in, and he loves to walk her, and like he loves to spend like time with her, and he's always like if he finds something to do, like, you know, we should go here and we could bring Monroe, and like it's always like included.
Aww.
Yeah, and she loves him. Like I wake up and I'm pissed because she doesn't go to sleep with us in the bed, but like in the morning she'll come up and she'll go on his side now. And I'm pissed. I'm like, hello, what happened to our cuddles?
Yes.
Yeah. Like we did this together. We were in the pandemic together. Like we were bonding.
We've been through everything.
We've been through everything. You've seen me at my worst. Yeah. And I'm like, girl, what is going on? But yeah.
Dogs are the best.
Dogs are, oh my God, I can't even imagine. I literally put myself into depression when I think about my dog not being here anymore.
I know. So one thing that freaks me out about anxiety is that like I'm spiritual enough to feel like I can have everyone can have gut feelings about things. And sometimes I get anxiety confused with like gut feeling.
Yeah,
I'm like,
me too.
What if this anxiety about the plane crashing is a permanent? Yeah.
Yes, I think the same thing because I do get really deep gut feelings.
Yeah.
But I don't want to think about my dog. I can't.
I had a therapist say that like, or a friend say that like, anxiety is in your chest and gut feelings are in your stomach. And I'm
that does make sense. Because when I am feeling anxiety, I'm like holding my chest.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and it has made me clarify things a little bit better.
I'm going to take that with me for the rest of my life, Natalie. You just changed the game for me.
I was online and I'm like, I want to be a person that like wears more jewelry. So
yeah.
I started ordering all this jewelry online and I got these earrings. I like didn't look at the size. They're probably the size you're wearing, and I was meaning to bring them for you. And I just thought it'd be
so my thing.
I will give them to you. I just thought it would be so hilarious if you even saw what I look like in these fucking earrings because
I'm sure you look so cute.
No, it's like I put them on. You ever just put something on, like walk up to your partner and wait for them to start laughing? It's like, it just doesn't look right.
I know. I like have put on outfits where I'm like, I don't even actually want anyone to see that I put this on. It's so embarrassing.
Yeah. Have you do you feel like you've always had the same sense of style?
Yeah, I feel like, yes, but I also changed it because I've tried to like fit in, I guess. So like, I was trying to like be like a corporate America type of bitch, right? So I would be like, wear like pearls and stuff like that. And then I was like, I don't miss me with it. That's not me at all, you know? So now like I just came from work and I'm like, you're going to see me with these earrings and it's fine. You know, like this is who I am.
Just be yourself.
It's the same way like wearing my hair curly is like, now it's been like 4 years, but like I used to straighten my hair and try to have like this very clean, polished look. And it's like, ew, that's not me at all. You know, like I feel like I'm like a loud kind of, you know, in a good way. Yeah. But like, I feel like, you know, I'm a presence and I feel like I was trying to mute myself and now I'm like,
hell yeah. And I love your hair. Your hair is awesome.
Thank you.
I definitely sometimes feel like I don't put myself together enough. Like I feel schlubby.
I don't literally want to say like I feel like you're always put together. Like your eye makeup is always on point.
The eye makeup, I will say, so what happened was in 9th grade, this guy was like, oh my God, you look so much better with eyeliner. And I like took that.
You always will.
To my heart. And now I'm so used to seeing myself with eyeliner that like when I'm not wearing it, like I don't look cute to me sometimes. Like I want to look cute to myself.
To yourself. I feel that too.
So used to seeing myself, like it's interesting because I feel like I see other people with like, they're wearing makeup, but they're not wearing eyeliner. And I'm like, how are they getting away with this?
I like have just recently. So like I usually wing my liner and then I was feeling when I would like wash it off, I'm like, I'm so ugly. So now I'm doing mascara only.
Yeah.
It's like a new thing I'm trying it's been like, I bought mascara I haven't worn mascara in years. I just usually line my eye. But I bought mascara last week and I'm wearing it and it's an adjustment.
It is an adjustment, right? I also had a roommate after I graduated college and I never wore mascara at all. My mom's like a total tomboy.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, kind of weird that you wear that style eyeliner and no mascara. And I was like,
I never do because I feel like you don't have to when you wing it.
Now I do because I'm like,
you'll like really take little thing. I will if someone comments on my appearance once, it's like it's gonna stick with me forever.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. I'm telling you, I really care what people think. If someone's just like, I remember when I was younger, Well, I'm not wearing lipstick now. I really just came from work and I'm exhausted. But I usually wear lipstick because someone was like, without lipstick, you look like you have no lips and you look like you're dead.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, now I'm going to wear lipstick every day. And like I usually do. I don't now, but.
Do you think people know that when they say you look tired, it's mean?
They better, because I'm over it. You look sick or you look tired. I'm like, just call me ugly.
Just tell me I look like a fish.
Yeah. I'm like, why would you tell me that? You look tired. I'm like, well, great. I'm on 10 hours of sleep. So
I feel like without
This is my
makeup,
face.
I look like Wallace from Wallace and Gromit. Like that is.
no, I will not even. My under eyes are something so serious without makeup on. I look like I haven't slept in 12 years.
I think that, I mean, what do you use under your eyes?
Laura Mercier concealer.
Oh.
Yeah. But also with mascara that I've been trying for a week, it's been running, which I feel like
it gets down and then it looks like bags.
Yeah, I got home yesterday and I yelled at JC. He was like, you let me walk around like this? He's like, I didn't notice. I'm like, well, what are you not looking at me? I look hideous. Oh my God. There's like a mirror right when you walk into my apartment. I looked in it. I looked at him. I was so mad. I was like, are you kidding me?
You're responsible.
Yeah. I was like, you just let me be this way? And he was like, what are you saying? I'm like, oh my, I was so mad. It was like down to here.
Was it really? I bet it wasn't.
It felt like it was.
I've definitely I went out once with like one eyebrow of makeup and like took photos. And then I got the photos back and I was like,
yeah. Oh my God.
No one told me I had one eyebrow done.
I wish people would.
Yeah.
Tell me when or like I've taken photos like at comedy shows and there's like lipstick on my teeth. I'm like, hello?
Why
wouldn't you tell me that?
I don't understand people that wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Like if someone has something on their face, I will always be like,
always tell
you
them.
have shit on your face.
Yeah, because I know they don't want that. That's not an intentional thing. Or something in my teeth.
Yeah.
Please tell me.
Have you ever lived anywhere other than New York?
No.
Do you feel like it's changed a lot since you were a kid?
Oh my God. Insane. It's such
Really?
a different, yeah. Especially where I grew up. So I grew up in like the East Village, Lower East Side. And it was like people didn't want to be there. Now it's like the hot spot. Everybody wants to be there.
Yeah.
But it was like desolate and it was a lot of like mom and pop shops. And there was like, I mean, there's a lot of homeless people now, but it was like they were everywhere and you had to like be careful all the time. Like you just had to like always have like your eye on people because you just didn't know what was going on. Like I remember like my mom getting pickpocketed and stuff. Like it was like a lot. I mean, it still happens now, but it was like way more prevalent when I was growing up.
Yeah, it definitely made my dad stricter because New York was so much worse when he was a kid too.
Yeah.
And so he was just like envisioning this like New York where like you turn down one street and it's the wrong street.
Yeah.
And like I was just like, it's not like that.
I know. Like when I was, because it was definitely changed by the time I was like a teenager.
Yeah.
And my mom would be like, you can't go over there. It's a bad neighborhood. I'm like, Mom, what are you talking about? Or like my mom lived in Williamsburg and in Bushwick in like the 70s. And that was like awful. Now, my mom being like the original gentrifier. And she like, when I was like, oh, I'm going to Williamsburg, she was like, that's a really bad neighborhood. I was like, Mom, what are you saying?
Yeah, I haven't been
like,
there in a while.
Yeah, I was like, you couldn't afford to like breathe in Williamsburg. What are you talking about? And then I brought her to a restaurant in Williamsburg and she couldn't believe it.
Really?
Yeah. She was like, what? Because my mom's born and raised in New York too, but like in Manhattan, like in the East Village, and then she lived in Brooklyn, but it was like an awful neighborhood.
Yeah.
And she was like, I cannot believe this. She's like, I can't believe people even came to live here and like started this. Like what even brought him? Like it's close to Manhattan.
I feel like I can always tell like when someone's not from New like so if I'm at a restaurant and I have to go to the bathroom, I will never like leave my phone on the table no matter where I am. I'll never leave a bag unattended. And I feel like New York has so many transplants of people that are just so trusting. They just like leave their phone out while they just leave their bag there. And I'm like, it drives
me nuts. I saw a girl today in Union Square counting cash. And like a wad of cash in the street. And I was like, girl, you're crazy.
I
like,
don't understand.
Literally just take that. Like, and Union Square can be a little sketchy sometimes. I'm like, girl, what is wrong with you? You are not from here.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm so closed off and also so ready for confrontation at any time.
I know. You have to be.
Yeah.
Like on the train, I'll be like, I remember being on the train and my friend being on the same train as me and like I didn't see her. And she was like, you look like such a bitch on the train. I'm like, you have to. So no one will bother you. She's like, your face.
What is the face you make on the train?
I think I have to just be on it, but I definitely know she told me I have like my eyebrow lifted. Like I'm just like sitting there like looking at everybody like, try me.
I used to look at everyone like, why are you looking at me? Did I say it was okay to look at me? Like that was me taking the train home from high school. Like, why are you looking at me?
Oh no, I just had like a thing like don't try it with me. And honestly, I don't think I've really been bothered on the train. Like my whole life, I feel like I give off a pretty good vibe of watch me get bothered on my way home now, but I feel like no one's really bothered me. I give a good like don't fuck with me type of vibe.
I got bothered with like the worst time on the train, like the seats that kind of face each other, like the orange ones.
I hate that. Yeah.
So I had put my foot on them, and this guy started taking photos of me, and then he mouthed like "bitch," and I like stood up. This was like years ago. I stood up. I stood over him because he was sitting down. I was like, "Did you just call me a bitch?" And he's like, "Yeah." I can't
even picture you doing this. You're so like sweet.
Oh, I just like snap into these like.
I was like,
good
for you.
It was like during the Me Too movement, and
that I did feel very empowered.
Yeah, I was like yelling at the whole train, like, "This is why Me Too is happening."
I love that. I did have a moment like that on the train where there was like this old man kept like saying like things to me about like how beautiful he thought I was, but like nasty, you know. And it was like I felt so empowered, and I was like, hey, look at me. In what world would I ever speak to you? And I was like, are you dreaming? I was like, I was like going off on this guy, and I'm like, you must really be out of your mind. He was like an old ass man. I'm like, oh, mommy, I want to take you out. You should come with me, live with me. And I'm like, are you out of your mind? Have you looked in the mirror? Like, are you crazy? You are an old ass man. Like, do you think I'm gonna pick me? Oh my God, are you crazy? Oh my God. But I felt, and then I got off the train and I was like on cloud nine. I was like, I told him. And I was like, honestly, I probably just look like a crazy person on this train, but it's fine.
Yeah. No, you told him. It was good.
Yeah. I felt like I told him.
Okay, on my podcast, I always like to pull a tarot card.
Ooh, okay.
Is this Celtic or Celtic? I'm going to lose my mind.
I have no idea.
Do you know how to pronounce this? It's Celtic. I like Celtic, but I think
like
it's
Celtic
Celtic.
because isn't it like the basketball team?
Yeah. Okay. That's why. Celtic. So in Columbus this past weekend, this lovely couple, the Flanagans, gave me this deck.
Love that. So then it is Celtic. Because the Flanagans, Celtic is Irish.
Okay, it's all coming together. Thank you, Flanagans.
Catholic school education here.
So thank God we're getting it now. So we got this Irish Oracle deck.
That's fun.
Which is fun. It's got all these pictures of like women on them. So I'm gonna pull an oracle card for you.
Okay. I don't know what these mean. Do you?
Well, they have a book.
Okay.
Every oracle deck is different. Like tarot decks, at least you could be like, oh, okay, I know that like the high priestess means this. I don't know what like, I don't know who these goddesses are because these are Celtic goddesses.
Ooh, this is like right up my alley.
What Celtic goddess is she? And does she play for the Celtics?
And will she be rich?
Okay, we've got Kethlin, the goddess of prophecy. Okay.
We love that.
She's stunning.
Let me see. Okay, curls. We like that.
We like the curls.
It's giving me.
We like that.
Gold jewelry. I love it.
Oh my God, the pages are. I forgot. I pulled a card from this on my stream. The pages are quite long.
That isn't like size 5 font.
And it's like, okay, the town of Enniskillen in Northern Ireland is named after Kethlin, a prophetess proved right when she forewarned her husband Balor he would be defeated in battle. You also have a supernatural power you can connect to. It is on your side and in control of your circumstances. That's kind of what we were talking about.
Yeah.
You can feel satisfied in your soul and secure in the present and future as you have an inner seed of omniscience. You're foretelling your future as you're in touch with the divine. Your relationship with the divine won't fail, and you'll keep believing even when your faith is tested. And miracles will happen in all areas of your life.
Oh my God, yes.
This is kind of like, I think she's like, the intuitive.
I like that.
Psychic goddess.
Okay, Kethlin.
So divination, perception, predictions. And she is from Ireland. The country of origin is Ireland and Wales for all of these.
Oh.
Scotland.
She's not what I would assume an Irish person to look like, but okay. I love that.
Here she is.
Here she is, Kethlin.
Here she is.
Okay. I like her. She looks Latina, so I'm into it.
She does.
She does. I like her a lot. Good for her.
All right. So, Sam, where can people find you?
People can find me on social media at Make Me Laugh Sam, on all social media platforms, and my podcast, Soft Launch, which is on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
Awesome. And you can see both of us with our men.
Yes.
At City Winery, June 23rd. So get your tickets. They're online on my website and on the City Winery website.
So excited about that.
Yes. And as always, subscribe to the Patreon, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.